Welcome, beautiful family, to yet another episode of Yolking Around, the podcast where we talk about news, pop culture, and life reflections. My name is Derek Mayo, and with me, my awesome co-host, Diana Gutierrez.
What's up, everybody? Been a minute since I've been on. You've been busy with your guests.
I know.
That's cool.
Guess I've been busy. You got new hair?
I do. I got it done like a month ago, and it was time for a change, man. My hair, my pink hair had faded out pretty bad. I'm like, all right, this is looking pretty crusty, and I don't know. I wanted a change. I like to have fun colors in my hair, so I figured it was time.
When did you start? When was the first time you implemented fun colors in your hair?
Fun colors, okay.
Because I know a lot of, I saw a lot of girls growing up in middle school trying new things like that.
No, and it came on when I was probably around college age. Yeah, I was already in college, I want to say. And the first time I dyed my hair, it was like a brownish color. I don't know if you remember, but it was like kind of like a lighter brown. It wasn't my full head, but it was like a balayage, like toward the bottom. And then I went purple.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. So you had virgin hair throughout.
Yeah, throughout most of my life.
Part,
yeah, until I was about 22, maybe. That was the first, when I want to say when I was 22 was the first time I dyed my hair in general.
Did it feel weird? Kind of, I guess, de-virginizing your hair?
A little bit,
I know that's a big deal for a lot of people.
It really is, because it takes a while for it to get back to what it was, initially. It's just more maintenance, sometimes, like, for example, with this blue hair, I have this special shampoo that I use to maintain the color as long as possible. I want to maintain as long as possible. That shit was expensive. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it is a big deal, at least with the girls I interact with. It's a thing,
Okay.
You have virgin hair. Like, it's hype if you have virgin hair, because it's a lot easier to
style, or
to not just necessarily to style, but to get you to a certain color. Because sometimes, like, for example, when I had before I got this done, I went to like a consult appointment to see how easy it would be. Luckily, my pink had faded out enough to a certain degree where I only needed to reapply bleach to certain areas of my hair. But let's say, like, if I was in a different process of the fading process with the pink, it would have been a little bit harder, because it would have taken longer to bleach my hair in order for it to get a certain color.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
like a whole science.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's very scientific. The more you learn about what cosmologists, I think that's what they're cosmetologists do, the more you're like, oh shit, this is kind of scientific.
Yeah, you have people like me that have attempted to dye their hair and completely butchered it. And
yeah, I've never attempted to do it myself, because I'm like, I love my hair too much to be fucking around with it.
Yeah, I feel like guys are a little more like fuck offish in that sense.
Well, in a way, it kind of makes sense, because I don't want to generalize, but I feel like most men have shorter hair nowadays.
Yeah, so you can shave it off.
You can shave it off, and it won't be that big of a deal. But when a girl shaves her head, for the most part, right? Like,
yeah,
people are like, oh shit, like,
it's a big.
It's more noticeable, I guess, in society when a girl has shorter hair, or like fucks up their hair. I guess it's more of a big deal.
And some women do it as an act of like revolt, no? Like a statement too.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that do shave their head just because
fuck the patriarchy. Fuck these ideal beauties.
Yeah.
Ideal beauty standards, yeah.
There's been famous celebrities that have done it.
Right.
I believe Natalie Portman has done it in V for Vendetta.
Okay.
The movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, she did it, and that was for real. There's another one, Charlize Theron or something like that. I might be butchering her name, but I know that a couple people have done it too, for the film, but also to make a statement, just in the general public.
Yeah, well, even a famous like pop culture type of thing with Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, yeah. Well, yeah, that's also a weird thing, that when people are going through distress, shaving their head is like a statement. I've done it when stress levels have been high. Mind you, it's like you said, it's not the same for a guy to do it than for a woman to do it, right? It's more of a statement with women, but it is sort of a weird thing that people do whenever they're under high stress, as if I mean, you're the psychologist here. I really don't know why it's like intuitive to do that kind of thing.
Right. And I mean, not to get too much into the psyche of a person because I don't know them personally, but with Britney Spears, I feel like when it initially happened, people are like, oh, she's gone crazy. But I think within these past 2 years-ish, you know, when her documentary came out with stuff about her conservatorship came out, I think it makes more sense now that she did that, you know, because women in Hollywood and the music industry, I think, have like a bigger spotlight on the pressure of achieving beauty standards, and when you're in position of someone as Britney Spears has been in the past, where, you know, she's an international pop star, you know, no one can tell me different. You know, she got pretty famous. She's still really famous. Her choices were limited, you know, with how she can dress, the way her hair was. So I think in that case especially, it was really an act of rebellion of, you know what, like, fuck you, like, you guys don't control my body.
And what's funny about that, not funny but kind of interesting about that, is that if you really think about it, and again, not to get too much in the weeds, but if you really think about it, it's like you mentioned, it's patriarchy. Beauty standards, setting those things on how a woman should be behaving on her day to day. Plus, you have women kind of working with the patriarchy, kind of pointing fingers at Britney Spears. She's gone mad, and I mean, although the reality is kind of interesting right now, her behavior, like we've seen in media, right, in social media recently, it is very, very much worrisome. Or worrying, better said. I think that a lot of it has to do in fault with men, in a way, you know, whether you like it or not. But
I mean, what comes to mind is the double standards that society has of, if a man does, I mean, thankfully, I feel like it has gotten get better, and hopefully continues to get better. But if a woman does something, if a man does something, you know, X, Y, and Z, there can be multiple examples. No one blinks an eye. But if a woman does that same thing, they get burned so bad. Yeah. So
she's a witch.
Yeah.
Witch.
Burn her.
Burn her to the stake. Talking about cutting hair, today's reflection, I've been thinking about this, not for a while now, but the other day I was smoking out in our balcony, and across the street from our apartment, I saw this, like, he must have been 15 or 16-year-old boy.
15
or 16, year old boy that was doing something very, very interesting. Not necessarily out of the ordinary, but out of the ordinary because he was outside.
Okay.
At least for me. And what it was is that he was cutting his nails. He was cutting his toenails outside.
I've seen that.
So he was out in sort of like the little patio area that he has, right? And I'm sort of overlooking from the balcony, being a metiche, you know. And he was just right in front of me. So, and he's cutting his nails, and it kind of got me to think about the action itself, and what I wanted to get at, and the more I thought about it, it's like how cutting your nails seems to have some sort of etiquette, right? And I wanted to ask you about that, because for me, it seems like it's very much contextual at times, right? You can cut your nails in front of somebody that you know, right? And there's not a big deal. But if you do it in front of other people, it might come off like as a weird thing, or maybe even a dirty thing. So there's like an actual negative connotation. So it's kind of deeper than what we think. And what's interesting about all of this is that it's a very sort of humanizing thing, because everybody, whether you're different race, ethnicity, social class, you have to you have to cut your nails. Just like when you go to take a shit, you have to wipe your ass, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very humanizing thing, and almost a humbling thing. And as I was watching this kid kind of cut his nails in a very peaceful manner outside, I wasn't coming off like in a judgmental way or anything, but it really got me thinking about like what the etiquette is when it comes to like nail clipping. So I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what is your perspective on that?
I would say well, first of all, I just want to say that's kind of, I've seen people done that before where they clip their toenails or their fingernails outside. I don't personally do that, but in a way it kind of makes sense, right? Because I personally, when I'm clipping my nails, I try to, that's one of the things that are etiquette, right? Like I have a trash bin that I like to go over.
Right.
Because even like, let's say I'm like trying to cut my nails on a table, those motherfuckers are going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. I actually really don't like clipping my nails. I do it, but I don't like it because it can get messy for me. And I don't like to leave a mess, especially if I'm like in a shared space. Right. So I try to contain it as much as possible. So I kind of go over a trash bin and I do what I need to do, right? But in terms of like it being an uncomfortable thing to do in front of somebody else, I don't think I've been faced with that. I think it's just a thing. Like you said, everybody does it. I don't know. Everybody does it, but everybody has like different perspectives, even in a cultural level. I actually started researching the whole thing. Okay, interesting.
Because it might seem like a very, very simple topic to talk about, but it's actually, I think there's more to those little simple things than we perceive. Because for instance, there's cultures that even have songs about it. Like,
really?
Yeah, there's cultures that where you can only cut your nails on certain days of the week.
Whoa.
So it goes deeper than that. And for instance, there's this it's like a song, I believe it's from Ireland, that goes like this: cut them on Monday, you cut them for health. Cut them on Tuesday, you cut them for wealth. Cut them on Wednesday, you cut them for news. Cut them on Thursday, a new pair of shoes. Cut them on Friday, you cut them for sorrow. Cut them on Saturday, see your true love tomorrow. Cut them on Sunday, the devil will be with you all week.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
So it has religious connotations too.
Well, I just think it's kind of interesting where it's like, oh, you'll see your true love tomorrow. Oh, you have the devil inside you the next day.
The Irish are very intense, apparently.
Wow. I mean, very Catholic.
Yeah, very Catholic, exactly. And
that's interesting.
There's days for it.
Wow,
yeah.
I've never thought about that.
Exactly.
Or ever thought of it to be a thing. But it makes sense in a way because cutting your toenail or your fingernails in general has to do with cleanliness, and cleanliness can be a very cultural thing as well.
Yes. And another thing to think about is that some people go out of their way to get pedicures and manicures, right? So there's people that are willing to do it for money, right? Yeah. Cut their nails. And with me, I got soccer feet. Like I would, as much as I would like to get a pedicure, I would not do that to the poor person in front of me, right? The fisheye or whatever, the juanetes, or whatever it is that's going on at your feet, especially as a soccer player, we don't tend to have like pretty feet.
Okay. Would you get your a manicure?
Yeah. Nothing against like the action itself. It's just a matter of like the negative connotation, that kind of taboo that comes with like not only just toenails or fingernails, but feet even, right?
Well, and especially as a man.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like to go get a pedicure or a manicure, it's still very. Oh, thankfully it's gotten better. I've seen men at like the nail salon. There's nothing wrong with that. On the contrary, that I feel like that's a green flag of like, oh, you're taking care of yourself, right?
Yeah. You're in a sense loving yourself, right? But it comes down to the whole thing of like letting somebody else cut your nails for you, right?
That's true. I guess it is. It can be an intimate thing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And at the same time, as I was watching the kid, it's like it's an intimate thing, and he seemed like he was deep in thought when he was doing it. Very relaxing, very humanistic or humanizing in a way. But it is kind of like a very private moment that you share.
That's
but
true.
At the same time, it could be very public. There's a lot of nuances with it.
Yeah.
There's the whole notion with biting your nails. There's people that bite their nails. So does that make him clean? Does that make him dirty? There's people that swallow their nails.
Yeah.
There's different things.
Right. And also I think when talking about relationships too, like if you're being intimate with your partner, you got to be considerate about especially what your hands are, what you got going on with your hands. You got to be considerate with your partner.
Yes.
You can't.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be specific, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There's no need to be specific, but
yeah, it's a whole concept of cleanliness and
etiquette.
And etiquette. Yeah. So, but at the same time, it's very contextual. So there's like, it's just weird that in some cases it's perceived as wrong. And in some cases, it's perceived as okay.
That's true.
But it's yet something very humanizing. Yeah. So everybody has to do it. And I also found some folklore stories around nails.
Listening.
One of them is from India.
All right.
In India, for instance, the superstition is that you should only cut your nails and hair on Wednesdays and Fridays, which is said to bring prosperity to you. Any other day, you can be condemned by the gods for doing so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder what the root of that is.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it has to do with cleanliness. The whole thing,
right.
Not being disrespectful, right? Mm-hmm. Another superstition is that cutting your nails when it's not daytime or too dark could be dangerous because nail clippings might land in random places and evildoers could be in search of them. And by finding them, they could potentially cast a spell on you.
Witchcraft.
Exactly. So it's the whole notion of like your nails are part of you, are very, very much, they have your DNA.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Yeah. They have your DNA. So it's something that when you're smoking out on the balcony, if you're me, I'm just like deep in thought and watching this person do their thing, and I'm just like, you know what? I think it goes deeper than that. So that was my reflection.
It can be a humbling experience.
Yeah, very humbling. Now I like to cut my nails outside in the balcony, out in the sun if I can, and try to be as clean as I can.
Yeah.
And then if some nails land at the bottom where the neighbor lives, so be it. You gotta be a shitty neighbor somehow. You don't talk to your neighbors anymore. So if somebody finds nail clippings, he'll be like, motherfucker.
That'd be wild. Like that'd have to be a lot of nail clippings. They're tiny.
Yeah. I mean, it's not excessive. And
I imagine, are they biodegradable?
I want to say they are.
Are fingernails biodegradable? It says yes, they are. Nails are made of keratin, a type of protein.
Right. Yeah.
So biodegradable. However, keratin is one of the tougher side of proteins and takes a long time to decompose. Oh, that is disgusting. Don't look at the images. If you look that up, don't look at the images.
Of nails?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. But see, that's for instance, one time I had somebody that was very comfortable around me, and they started cutting their nails in front of me.
Okay.
And I was like, am I cool with this?
Huh.
Like, it was their toenails, right? Specifically their toenails. And I'm like, am I cool with this? And it was right in front of me, like, and I was like, am I being too judgmental in the matter, or in the sense that it's normal and they feel comfortable, so if anything it's kind of a compliment?
Yeah.
Or am I like, it's kind of nuanced. It's very nuanced. It's very contextual, like
now that I think about it a little bit more. Yeah, but that is I feel like that is kind of intimate, because that's something that you do. I've personally never been embarrassed to do that, but I'm sure there's people that are embarrassed to do that, especially with their feet, because like I think you said earlier, there's kind of more of a, I don't know what you called it, but like, taboo. It's like a little bit more taboo, like things related with the feet, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that being an intimate type of thing.
Yeah, it's just something that kind of struck my head, and it got me deep in thought outside.
I know what came to my head?
What?
Because of that fucking picture.
Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, actually, yeah. But that fucking scene in White Chicks when they're eating dinner. She's like biting her toenails, and one of the toenails falls into somebody else's glass of wine.
Yeah.
That shit's disgusting, man.
With the oyster.
Oh God.
Great movie.
No, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about etiquette and toenail clipping? Let us know. It's
more nuanced than you would think.
It's more nuanced than you think, and it's kind of more important than you might, I guess, think as well. I have another set of to start. I have some pop culture news.
All right, go for it.
The first one being the viral pygmy hippopotamus that's been taking the internet social media, and her name is Moo Deng.
Oh, she has my heart.
For those of you guys that are living under a rock, don't worry. We will specify who Moo Deng is and why this pygmy hippopotamus is breaking the internet and creating such big hype around it. So Moo Deng is a 2-month-old pygmy hippopotamus who was born in July and lives at the Khao Kyu Open Zoo in Risha in Thailand. That was a mouthful.
Yes.
Her name was chosen through a poll that the zoo did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Moo Deng won, the name Moo Deng won by a landslide. And the meaning of her name is bouncy pork. There's different translations, but this is the one that
I've also heard pork patty.
Pork patty, yeah.
But I like bouncy, what'd you say, pig?
Bouncy pork.
Bouncy pork.
Bouncy pork. She's the cutest.
She's so cute.
What's funny about this is that I had seen a video of her before she went viral, and I posted it on my Instagram just for shits and giggles because I thought she was just funny looking, right? In the best way, obviously, funny,
she's cute.
Slimy little ball of fun. And I posted her, and literally like a month later, she just starts blowing up everywhere.
Little star, huh?
Yeah, and she became a star all over the internet. And she actually, I don't know if you knew this, but she actually has 2 siblings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she kind of like, in popularity, she beat the 2 siblings, which I'm sure the siblings are cute as hell too.
Oh,
but,
yeah. I'm tempted to look after.
The name of one of them is Moo Toon, which roughly translates to stewed pork.
Stewed pork.
Yeah, and Moo Wan.
Stewed as in like a stew, like a broth.
Yes, I'm guessing that's what it.
Okay.
What it means,
Gotcha,
and then Moo Wan, which means sweet pork.
Okay, all porkies.
Yeah. So they
makes sense. They look like little piggies.
They are. They're aquatic piggies in a way. And then she has even inspired makeup tutorials and makeup brands to create the rosy cheek look that is famously seen on her slimy little cute face.
Oh wow, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah. So there's like makeup brands. There's influencers trying to do the rosy cheek, which she has rosy cheeks. Which is very cute. And then the zoo has been seeing a great influx of visitors and tourists ever since she went viral on the internet, seeing numbers of up to 20,000 visitors.
God damn.
Just to go see the little hippo. But sadly,
of course,
humans
are
humans, fame has affected her because people that go and visit have been acting like douchebags, and I'm gonna specify what I mean by that. The zoo had to put a warning on Moo Deng's site area, telling people to stop throwing things at Moo Deng after a new rush of visitors began behaving badly.
That's messed up, man.
And they've restricted visits to her area for to a 5-minute window during the week.
Good.
So these hippopotamus tend to be nocturnal to begin with. I was reading.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're more of a nocturnal being.
Interesting.
And obviously, being in the zoo, there's a lot of commotion. There's a lot of coming and going. So Moo Deng has to be like up and playfully moving around. But she's still a baby, so she has to be sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, she has to be sleeping a lot of the time. So people see this and they wanna, because they come in with the hype of the internet, they want her to do the
thing,
do the sporadic, and which it's hilarious, right?
Truly.
The cutest thing is like she goes and bites people, and she's very sporadic and kind of
she got a lot of energy.
Yeah, very sassy, very very crazy, and people want to see that, right?
Yeah,
but
I get it.
If they see and she's sleeping, people are misbehaving by doing that kind of shit, throwing trash at the poor animal that's just trying to live her life. Yes. Which, you know, it's cool that there's hype, but at the same time, I feel like it's not okay because they do need peace, you know? And
I do think it's sad that... Sorry to interrupt
No, go ahead.
That, you know, it's one thing to do that to human. I'm not saying it's less fucked up or more fucked up, whatever, but it's one thing to do it to a human, but to an animal, they have no choice.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't choose to get famous.
Exactly.
And she's just a little baby. Like, don't be fucked up. That made me sad. That's fucked up.
Yeah. When I was reading that, it just, but it goes to show like how humans are, man. We just can't have nice things, everything. And for what? For a fucking 10-second video
that you're gonna fucking record and not even be there in the moment for?
Yeah, exactly. And we see that happening a lot. And you know, when it involves endangered species, it's even more fucked up.
Yeah.
Although the zoo takes care of her, you know, it's the whole concept of like having an animal in captivity, because it is in captivity to a certain extent, and for showmanship, right? And they treat her nice. I'm sure they're always
and I was gonna say something about that. I there's no facts behind this, but something that I have been seeing in like comment sections and stuff of those videos are people starting to judge the zookeepers for always like touching her, or like always like playing around with her and not letting her just be. And I do understand that too, you know.
And like you said, that's a great point that you bring, because the videos that we see could be repeated instances, right? So unless we're there, we don't know like if they're actually like touching her all the time,
right.
But that same thing did come up on my head, because they're trying to create a show.
Exactly,
right?
And it's when it comes down to capitalism also affecting animals. People can't tell me that Zub is not getting a whole much more business. They're making a lot more money because of this whole thing. So it makes sense that, and I'm speculating, it makes sense that they're gonna want to keep making like videos with her so that people keep coming, kind of ride that viral train. But I just think it's very sad, just again to reiterate the point that she didn't choose to be put in this position.
But and it's good that you bring the whole thing about the income piece, because the zoo is even thinking about trademarking the name Moo Deng to sell products and merchandise that will use to create a better environment for the other animals, and they're hoping to use her fame to help the other animals as well. So
let's hope they stick to that.
That's what they're saying. The zookeepers, the people that are in charge, you know, that they're trying to use this fame to also help the other animals.
Something positive.
One can only wish, and hopefully that is the case. Some cool facts about pygmy hippopotamuses is that their scientific name is, and I'm probably gonna butcher this, but it's Coreopsis liveriensis. Liveriensis, and they're an endangered species, as I mentioned. They're native to West Africa. Pygmy hippos are actually one of the smallest species of hippos. So they're not big. The mom, the big hippo that you see, that's the mom. So that's about the size that they grow. Yeah, so they're small.
She's big, but other hippos are a lot bigger.
Yeah. Nothing to compare. I mean, the zookeeper is around the mama, and he doesn't seem too threatened by it. I dared him to do it with actual big hippopotamus. They were last assessed globally in 2015, and it was found that there was less than 2,500 mature individuals alive in the wild. They were thought to be extinct. They're thought to be extinct in Nigeria, one of West African countries, and where they previously lived. So they actually were endemic to that area.
Interesting.
But a small population remains in Liberia, Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Sierra Leone.
Okay, so still on the west side of Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their natural habitat is usually around rivers, streams, swamps, and wet areas, so they can keep their skin moisturized, which is something Moo Deng give us that skin tutorial.
Routine.
Yeah, exactly. She's always so wet and moist. Clean words, by the way. And they likely feed on grass and fruits. And they do this. Grubbing. Yeah, they're grubbing. The mama is always eating.
Yeah.
And they usually do this at night, dusk, or dawn. So they're very nocturnal. They do most of the things at night, and they tend to sleep during the day.
They like to party.
They also form a big part of the African folklore. And there's a myth that comes out of Ivory Coast that says that whoever sees the tail of a pygmy hippo and laughs will go crazy.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah. So
damn, well, I'm fucked, y'all.
Yeah, she does have a cute little booty.
Yeah.
And it's just it's part of pop culture now. She's become very memeable, and hilarious memes have come out of it and her sassiness.
Yeah, and she's not the first animal. There's plenty of animals that go viral for being cute, and then they're trademarked, and they're on that pathway to the stardom as well. So
yeah, and it's good that you bring up the whole thing with a different animal, because there is also another animal, baby animal, that is going viral.
Oh yes,
and that is, and I want to give him credit too, because he's also cute.
Yeah,
and cute. I fuck it, these little animals deserve all the attention, the positive attention that they could get. The name of this animal is Pesto. And Pesto is a chunky, fluffy king penguin who resides in the Australian aquarium.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll put some pictures of both of Moo Deng and Pesto on here. But the story of this little guy is that in January, caretakers of the Sea Life Melbourne Aquarium were delighted when the king penguin chick was born, as he was the first king penguin successfully hatched in the past 2 years. But they've been trying to hatch this little guy.
A little miracle baby.
Yeah, exactly. Importance too, because it isn't. Those types of things are important.
That's
to take care of our wildlife. What's crazy about Pesto is that 3 months after he was born, he was already 20 pounds and has achieved a height that is quite amusing for his age. Pesto typically eats about 30 fish daily, and his good genetics come from his parents. I believe his biological dad ended up being like 30 pounds, which is rather big for a king penguin.
Right.
I was reading, and then he was recently adopted by 2 other king penguins named Hudson and Tango. And to put it into perspective, Hudson and Tango are fully grown penguins, and they're only 24 pounds.
What?
So the baby chick, it's not only almost their weight, but it's also a little bigger. Like if you see, it's really funny because if you see the pictures of them 3 together, because he's still a baby, right? So he goes to his adopted penguin parents. Pesto is already taller than them.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. He's a big boy.
He's a big chunky boy.
I do have a quick question though. I don't know if you know the answer, but you said that he was adopted. Was there how? I guess the logistics of that, because I'm sure he has a mommy and a daddy, right?
I don't know the logistics. That's a very good question, but I don't know the logistics. They, I guess they don't live with the mom and dad, or
okay.
So he went to these 2 other penguins.
That's cute.
And yeah, it's super cute. It's freaking
penguin
crazy
adoption.
Too. Yeah,
when penguin adoption is more accepted than gay couples adopting.
Right? And I don't, that's actually a very interesting thing, because I don't know if Hudson and Tango, they sound like males, right?
They kind of do. I was going to ask you, but I didn't know if you knew that.
I don't know the sexes, and I'll actually get into the whole sex part of things, because they actually did a gender reveal for this penguin. Yes. And there's a reason why, before you guys start judging, there's a reason why they did this.
Okay.
They had a gender reveal party for him, because king penguins are not sexually dimorphic. You can't visibly differentiate males and females. The only way to confirm gender is to take a blood sample.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
I never knew that.
Yeah, me neither. But there's animals that, depending on the species, if it's male or female, you can see physical traits.
Right.
Aside from their genitalia.
Yeah.
And penguins are not part of that.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Part of that group, so they had to do a blood test.
Interesting.
And then to emphasize, the sexual dimorphism is the condition where sexes of the same species exhibit different morphological characteristics, including characteristics not directly involved in reproduction, again genitalia. The condition occurs in most dioecious species, which consist of most animals and some plants.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Pesto, huh?
Pesto is currently covered in its typical soft brown baby feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I think they go away after a few months.
Exactly.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so he is expected to lose this plumage.
Yeah,
and
just
then
looks like a brown puffball.
Yeah, and go to the typical king penguin, black, white, and beautiful like orange kind of plumage that goes around like their neck area or cheek area. I mean, if you were to put a tie on a penguin, where do you put the tie, right? They're like a straight
Kinda, yeah. It would have to be like probably right under the head.
I guess they do. No, you're right. They do have a neck because they have the. We're getting outside the topic here, but it's not like a fish, right? Well, I guess fish do have fins, so they kind of do have necks.
The fish is more debatable.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're okay. Yeah, we are staying.
Anyways,
off topic.
A pesto is expected to shed its puppy fat, and as he matures.
Oh, he gonna lose weight?
Yeah, he's gonna lose weight, and as he becomes an adult, it is estimated that he'll be an impressive 33 pounds. So he's gonna be a big boy.
Damn.
And the reason why I brought this is because we've been seeing memes of Moo Deng, the hippo, and Pesto kind of like competing for attention.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Aside from it all, they both deserve the attention. They're both cute as hell.
Totally.
And yeah, so that those are the pop culture news that I have for you today. But today is very animal inclined. I want to say. Now that we've gone over those pop culture news, if you want, I know that you have some news. So if you want to use this segment of news that we have, so that you can share some of what you have.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of animals, do you hear that the animal Donald Trump is coming to Aurora?
The animal Donald Trump. Wow. No, I didn't. Why is he coming to Aurora? Don't come to Aurora.
To clean up the gangs.
Oh my goodness, the gangs that are everywhere, invading everywhere. Jesus Christ.
I just thought it would be funny to throw in there. But before we get too political, talking about culture in general. I just want to say I'm saddened by the death of Maggie Smith that happened yesterday.
Yeah. The Harry Potter actress, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We've been losing like one every last year we lost, was it Michael Gambon? Yeah, we lost Michael Gambon, who plays Dumbledore. Mm-hmm. And then the year before that we lost the actor who plays Hagrid. Robbie, what's his last name? Robbie Coltrane. So it's kind of weird, like how these past few years it's been like kind of frequent, you know. Like and then Alan Rickman, that was a little bit more far back. That was 2016. I thought it was a little bit like sooner than that, but it's almost been 10 years since his passing. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
But I just wanted to say that because I love Harry Potter, and this is why this little guy is joining me today.
Ravenclaw?
Yes, I'm Ravenclaw, and then
Ravenclawed out.
My mug, my Hogwarts mug right here.
You're even wearing the blue hair.
I am, yeah, without even meaning to.
Yeah, you're Ravenclawed out, man.
Yeah, I am, yeah. But yeah, I just felt like that needed to be said, just to acknowledge, you know, that she was a great actor, not even just in Harry Potter, but just in general. Like, she's had a lot of influence in cinema in general. Yeah. So rest in peace, Maggie Smith.
Yeah, Maggie Smith. And it's interesting that you bring that up because it seems like the film had to cast a bunch of actors, right?
Oh yeah, so shit ton.
By process of elimination or by statistics, you know, it's bound that somebody's gonna pass away, right? Because a lot of them are elderly. But if I'm not mistaken, the guy that played Dumbledore,
in the original
one, also passed away. Like,
yeah, that was a while ago though. That was the reason why Michael Gambon had to kind of come in. But yeah, that was like in the beginning. But yeah, he also passed, and so rest in peace to him. I don't remember his name, if I'm being honest, but may he rest in peace as well.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he was someone different for the longest time. So they did a good job casting and continuing the look of Dumbledore. Right?
Yeah, you'll have to. Because we're gonna watch the Harry Potter movies soon. I like to watch them every year around fall, just because I don't know, it's a tradition that I have.
Because I fucking can.
Because I can, yeah. No, but it's something that I like to do around this time when it starts to be fall. So, you'll be able to see, you know, like a lot. I'll tell you a lot of facts about the film itself, but
of you Potterheads.
Yeah, I mean, fuck J.K. Rowling, but I still love Harry Potter.
Yeah. You very strong emotions towards J.K. Huh?
Yeah. Without getting too much into the nitty gritty, but I don't think she's a good person.
Just look at her Twitter history.
Yeah, that's all. Enough said.
There's been a couple of things that she has said and has not been received, not even by like Harry Potter or the main cast, right? Like the main cast has kind of if I'm not mistaken, they've kind of like stepped away from like her.
To my knowledge, I haven't seen any like defining proof of that, but I would
I want to say Emma Watson has. Is it Emma Watson? Yeah, Emma Watson.
I can see her being that. I mean, she's involved in politics, and I feel like she's pretty woke more than most people. So
I'm woke.
I'm woke.
Potter, are you woke? Potter, are you woke? But yeah.
I just wanted to say that before we get into anything else, just so like.
No, part of pop culture,
yeah,
definitely.
Of course.
Part of pop culture and big influence in. I mean, they have amusement parks. The amount of.
I still need to go there.
The amount of memorabilia and
it's
items
crazy.
that you could buy. I mean,
multi-billion-dollar company or like business, basically.
Say what you will, but J.K. Rowling must be loaded in cash.
Oh, she rolling.
Yeah. A good one.
Typically,
I'm the one that does the cheese shit, but that was a good one. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
I don't know if you had more pop culture stuff before we talk about.
No, that was
orange.
Yeah. Good thing that you reminded me and cut me off for that for the homage to this person.
But yeah, I mean, there's no confirmed date, but supposedly Trump is coming to Aurora. If you watch if you would call it a debate, he just talked a lot of shit again about migrants in general.
That's his whole rhetoric.
Yeah.
I don't see him making good points besides putting the blame on migrants.
No, and I honestly just do think that's just an act of desperation, that and many things of that. Honestly, if you were to ask me, like, do I think he's going to win? No, I don't think he will, because
I'm gonna knock on wood.
Those kind of things that he's doing, I think they're just an act of desperation. And actually, kind of talking about pop culture a little bit still, I was seeing a podcast with Tana Mojo. Do you know who that is?
Tana Mojo sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's a YouTuber. I used to watch her a lot. Then I kind of stopped for a little bit, but now I'm kind of starting to kind of watch what kind of content she's doing. I can't really say like if I like her content or not. I'm just really starting to like re-see what she's doing now. She was the one with TanaCon. Do you remember that whole thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
That's a whole different side of YouTube that I haven't delved into.
I got a lot of YouTube lore. At some point we want to talk about that.
I do too. It's just a different type of lore. Mine is more Mexican creators.
Right. Mine are a lot of... I used to watch like a lot of American creators. Anyway, I saw this podcast clip of her saying, and she had to use very loose language so that she wouldn't get in trouble, but she was saying that a political campaign approached her, offered her millions of dollars to endorse
I've heard about that shit. Yeah.
And I think it's safe to assume that it was Trump, because she has publicly endorsed Kamala Harris.
Okay.
So, and she was saying that like they offered her like millions of dollars, not even just a little bit, but like a lot. And that she saw a whole list of influencers that were also being offered the same like offer, basically.
Yeah, it happens in Mexico too, with political parties approaching celebrities and selling out.
Yeah, when we've seen that happen with Latino artists as well, like Nicky Jam.
Ay, Dios mío, don't even get me started with that shit. Yeah,
it's sad to see, but you know,
sellouts. They're sellouts, straight up. I'm sorry, but Anuel AA, Nicky Jam, fucking sellouts,
scum
dude.
Of the earth. Yeah, but. And I will say this, and people are saying like, oh, well, both parties do it. And yes, I agree.
Both parties do it.
I'm not going to say Kamala Harris has not been doing it. However, I feel like Trump's approach has been a lot distinct. When he fucking introduced Nicky Jam, fucking thought that he was a girl.
I think he thought he was Nicki Minaj. I swear to God. He's like, she's hot. Come. And then Nicky Jam looking like a baboso ahí in front of everybody. Like, hey, I support Trump, but come on, guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's fucking stupid.
How low can you go?
No, truly.
How low can you go? That's literally what I thought about when I saw that. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, no, so both parties are doing it, but I think Trump is doing it in a more blatant manner that's coming off desperate to me, at least. He's been selling... You see that watch that he's selling?
He has another grift going on.
Yeah. Yes. One of them is for like $100,000. I think one of the more expensive one is like $100,000. But the reason why I'm bringing up the Trump thing is because I was seeing something in fashion. It actually, weirdly enough, kind of has to do with pop culture as well. I know you like fashion. I don't know how heavily you know about like the fashion industry itself.
I wouldn't say I love.
I look at this guy. Come on.
Well, I'll take the compliment, but I'm blushing here. I'm looking like Moo Deng here.
Don't attack me. Don't bite me. But I saw that in September a few weeks ago. Well, let me set the stage. So New York has Fashion Week, right?
Okay.
That happened in, let me check the date, September 6th. Okay. So on the first day of Fashion Week, they had it was labeled as a nonpartisan march.
Okay.
That helped people essentially register to vote and helped people, or like encourage people to get out there to the polls and vote. They weren't saying like, oh, vote for Kamala Harris specifically.
No, just the act of democracy.
Yeah, just the act of democracy itself. Just kind of to promote voter registration and democracy. Democracy. So a few weeks after that, on September 17th, there was a MAGA fashion show. Did you hear about this?
Fuck no. Oh my God. Why is it every single thing that they do is so fucking cringe, dude?
Oh my God, it's so
Everything
cringe.
that they do is so cringe. Come on, tell me about it.
So the reason that they had this fashion show was because certain celebrities, or conservative celebrities or designers, were feeling kind of excluded from Fashion Week itself.
Okay.
Or feeling blacklisted. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we're gonna have our own fashion show. Like our creative ideas have value as well. So they held one in Long Island, I believe.
Okay.
At this place called America's First Warehouse. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, America's First Warehouse. America had to be the name. Which calls itself America's most patriotic venue. That's what they label themselves as.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they had it's an organization that's dedicated to hosting speakers, showcasing conservative values, essentially. That's kind of their bread and butter. So there was roughly about 100 attendees that attended this fashion show, and they flew all across the country, again, like designers that felt kind of left out of the fashion scene. And so
Kid Rock was probably there.
Well, there was this
rocking the Trump shoes.
Yeah. Well, there was this lady named Cindy Groch or Graz. I don't know how her name is pronounced, but it's one of those two. But she has participated in a few fashion weeks before. Mm-hmm. And essentially she kind of came out and said, kind of complaining that Fashion Week has gotten a little bit more political and more excluding to certain people throughout the years. So she basically doesn't like what they are starting to represent, essentially. Like they're just getting more political and unwelcoming to Republicans. Okay. And I'm going to pause there because the increasingly political thing kind of rubs me off the wrong way. Because if you look into the history of fashion, it's always been political. Yes,
I was waiting for you to pause and bring up that point, because yes, fashion is very, very much alienated with the state of the country and the eras that you're going through represent how people dress.
Exactly, like societal progress.
Exactly. Or stagnation.
Or stagnation
either
too. Or, yeah. It's a statement. There's a reason why fashion statement is a term.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yes.
I looked into her a little bit more. I guess, and this is the Cindy Groves person. She apparently lost a 2020 primary for a U.S. House seat on Long Island. So she's been trying to get into the political scene.
Interesting.
So she, again, just feeling disappointed about Fashion Week in general and kind of claiming, or more like criticizing New York Fashion Week in general, because Jill Biden was there and she did a little speech. I watched the speech. It was 3 minutes long. I don't think she said anything.
Which was probably a minute and a half.
It was super short. And because she was claiming that the opening speech was in support of Kamala Harris. And I watched it. I was like, well, she didn't mention Kamala Harris, but what she did say was we need to protect our democracy. So I'm like, okay, so you're saying that Trump is not going to protect our democracy, if that's what you're saying, right? That she's kind of supporting Kamala. And her husband is Democratic, labeled as a Democrat still. So I kind of get that to a degree. However, if the shoe fits, it fits. right?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that. And great metaphor, by the way.
Yeah.
Fashion Week. If the
Oh,
shoe fits-
I didn't even realize I did that.
Great metaphor.
Good job, me. Yeah, so this lady has been trying to get into the political scene for a few years now, and that's failed. So that's kind of her reasoning or her drive for wanting to have kind of her own MAGA show, saying people want to put Republicans in a box, and they say we're not creative or artistic. We want to show them otherwise. And I'm going to show you the pictures after I'm done relaying the story.
And I'll put them as well. So you guys make that decision, not us.
Yeah.
You guys can also be participants of this.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll show you pictures of that. But what I was going to say with that as well is that I looked at the pictures and I tried to be as like non-biased as possible. You know, obviously there's still bias there, but trying to look at the designs for what they are, right? Like designs, not necessarily like as a political statement, but like what the clothes look like and all. Okay.
Was it a lot of red, white, and blue?
Yeah. You'll get to see. A lot of bedazzlement as well, like bedazzles.
They're in love with that.
Oh, I know.
Which talking about bedazzlement, I was watching this video on TikTok. I don't know how true it is, but it was about this guy that does follow fashion trends.
Okay.
And there was an era where I think it's in the 2000s where economically, I think it's 2008 or something like that. Economically, we weren't doing good as a nation.
Okay.
And we used a lot of bedazzlements, the Ed Hardy shirts, the pants, the hats, everything had bedazzlement. And the reason was because people wanted to portray a sense of like glamour and money.
Okay.
But they didn't necessarily have that money or glamour. So it was a way to like overcorrect what was going on in society.
You see how fucking fashion affects society. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a great point. Thank you for saying that.
No.
Yeah. So then enter the scene a different fashion designer named Ellie Ballet. I don't know if that's how they say the name correctly. I tried to look for the pronunciations, but it was really hard. So Ellie has kind of been in the business for decades. So they've been in the business for a while, and they were just kind of complaining that throughout the years, you know, fashion has gotten a little bit more political was what
Which
they were
again, what the fuck do you mean by that?
Yeah. And so I guess there was something that happened recently where he had a job and he got let go. They never told him the direct reason why, but he suspects it's because of his political views.
Okay.
And so something that he stated after that was, I've never had any problems with other people's political views. It shouldn't matter that I love Trump. He's a businessman. I'm a businessman. I respect his ideas.
Well, sir, you might be racist. Just check on that.
Might be racist.
Just, you might want to check that.
Well, I just think the irony in all of this is that they were feeling excluded, where the sole basis of what I think Trump's rhetoric is excluding people.
Logically doesn't make a lot of sense coming
fallacy.
from them. There you go. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, so that's basically the story.
Us versus them, right?
Yeah.
That's their a lot of their rhetoric. And I mean, whether you want to fight it or not, what are we saying? Immigrants, us versus them, right? We're not part of them. They're not part of us, right?
Yeah, and I think something interesting as well is that he's like, oh, I respect other politicals' views, okay? I don't think it's just politics. It's them finding an excuse for their shitty ideals.
Yeah.
You know, because I do believe people should respect people's political views as long as their political views are not harming a group of individuals.
Right, yeah.
And they're harming many groups of individuals by their rhetoric. So that's the problem that I have with, right? Because being a Trump supporter doesn't just mean that maybe you're Republican, right? I think it can mean a lot of things. It can mean that you're xenophobic, that you're racist,
misogynistic,
that you're sexist. It's more nuance than just, you know. And that's why I personally don't identify as a Democrat or Republican, because either side, you know, it's kind of similar to what I was saying, like both sides are doing fucked up shit, right? And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with everything that the Democratic Party represents, right? But in terms of what our country, the stance that our country is right now, like, no. If you vote for Trump, to me, that's a very big red flag.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that, and I'm going to show you the pictures.
All right. Show me the pictures. Show me, because no. I mean, I really do think that if it doesn't matter your political views or whatever, but if you're going to be a designer, an artist, you know, a lot of that is going to get filtrated through your to your artwork, right? So, and I feel just like anything that progressiveness and being conservative both can come in and create great pieces of artwork, you know. And
agreed.
So the expression of art is not bound by anything. It's outside of that. That's the beauty of art, that it can go outside that, and anybody can do it. And I do want to see these pictures to see what kind of ideas these great conservative designers had.
And you reminded me of something that I was going to mention too, is that there was some criticism with New York Fashion Week because there was some and I tried to look into it as much as I could, but there was some Kamala inspired fashion trends. Like there was I also had trouble finding certain pictures because I have to like purchase certain articles, which is another fucking stupid thing. Like news should be free, okay? Yeah. But there was like a
especially because somebody's paying already for the paint.
Yeah, there's a dress inspired by the whole coconut tree meme from Kamala. That's right? Funny. But in my research, I didn't see anything that blatantly said like vote for Kamala or something like that. There was something that I saw that someone that attended. I'm not sure if they were. I tried to look into it a little bit more, but I couldn't figure out. But they attended, but they had like a clutch. That they purchased, and they specifically put a bumper sticker that they put Kamala Harris, just like that.
Interesting.
And so that was like one thing, you know, like I tried to be like I'm trying to present the news as like best as I can, you know.
Yeah. Unbiased as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I was biased. I mean, I fucking hate Trump, but but in terms of the pictures, I want you to try to be as unbiased as possible. Okay.
Okay.
So let's take a look here.
All right. That first dress is terrible. What the fuck is that in the middle?
It says, oh, let me try to zoom in a little bit. I think it's Trump.
Oh my god. See, what the fuck?
Let's zoom in a little bit.
You shouldn't. I mean, if they're putting a blatant picture of Trump.
Yeah, that's Trump right there. And then it says,
that's where he was raising his arm, right? When he got
Yep. And then it
says hideous.
2024 America's comeback.
Oh my god, what the fuck is going on? She looks like a candy cane that's giving birth to a weird picture of Trump.
Oh, that's a great way. That's true. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, terrible.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one's a little bit more tame. She's just holding an American flag.
What the fuck? That looks like a regular ass piece of garment that anybody could put. I'm sorry, but that has no.
No, there's no statement here.
There's
right?
no. I really don't.
Like take away the flag. There's no statement.
Yeah,
not for like a.
It's a tan. What is it like a?
It's like a vest. I want to say, or a blazer. I can't tell what it is.
Blazer vest and black leggings and high heels.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not impressed.
Moving on. It says "We the People."
A lot of again, a lot of flags. You can only wear the American flag so many times, you know.
Let's do something different.
Yeah, and it's tacky, man. It is tacky.
Yeah.
There's the whole concept of fashion americana, which is a representation of like the American culture,
right?
And that itself could be very interesting and very cool, and it not necessarily means red, white, and blue either. There's other aspects to the whole Americana concept when it comes to fashion, but,
right?
Yeah, very.
This is still kind of basic when you think about it. For it to be a fashion show,
that looks like something your racist uncle will wear to a barbecue. And after a few beers, he's gonna start saying, "Trump this." You don't
Trump
know what
is
you're
my
talking
Lord
about.
And Savior.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Not impressed.
Like a bomber jacket? What do you describe it as?
Yeah, that's a bomber jacket. It says "Fight, fight, fight." Red, white, and blue, bedazzled to the max, and the American flag. I'm sorry, but I feel like a high schooler could come up with better ideas.
No, literally, I thought of a high schooler when I saw this. I'm like, this looks like something.
It's like you're doing a class project, and this is what you come up with.
Yes, that's what it looks like to me.
Also, I think the wording is very tacky. The fact that you have to use words to relay a message when it comes to fashion, especially when it's big bold letters like that,
I like it.
Kind of takes away the statement and the message And this is coming from somebody that I don't understand, but to me that's tacky, because I would feel that you could be more expressive in the sense of like the cuts that you do on your jackets,
right.
the type of materials that you use, that can make that statement. Like, right. Why did you use this knit from this specific town, from this specific person, right?
Yeah.
Instead, you're just seeing the message blatantly, like a billboard.
That's true. I like what you said, because if we're sticking to, you know, fashion has always been political, there's been plenty of fashion staples that don't need lettering.
Flappers.
Great example.
The whole thing in the 1920s, the representation of women expressing themselves and liberating themselves, and typically using shorter skirts, different types of haircuts, had nothing to do with, I mean, I didn't see any necessarily like bold lettering across, right? Which is done right, it could be good, but
if done tastefully,
exactly. But again, they marked an era because of the way they were dressing, and that it was outside the norm, and also it was trendy for the time, and trendy, and not just outside of the norm, but sort of exotic in a way.
Yeah, it was a statement.
Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to say that this is a boxer, I guess. They're like a famous boxer.
Okay, I mean, if you're coming now, boxers tend to be a very glamorous, very lavish in the clothing that they wear. So I could kind of see it with the fight there, but still not very impressed.
Yeah, I can't make out what's on her hat, but there's something on her hat too. I think it says Trump right there.
See, that's the whole thing. Like, they're trying to do their whole, let's not be like the Democrats or whatever, and they went full on.
Oh yeah.
Sucking up to Trump, not even the conservative party, because you could even be conservative, and that it's bigger. I think that's a bigger statement than, oh, let's make the fashion trend solely revolving around Trump.
Yeah, and I actually think it was more labeled as a Republican fashion show, but come on.
But then that's what you were saying, that the whole Republican, even though we don't want to put everybody in the same glass, it comes down to this.
They're putting themselves in it.
They put themselves in this glass. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, just a few more pictures here.
My eyes. Okay, this one looks kind of more interesting.
It's a little better.
Can you turn it this way a little bit more?
No,
this way.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
I can't see.
Yeah, my bad.
Let me get close. Is she? I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No,
is she pregnant, or she looks pregnant? But
I don't. Oh,
nonetheless,
actually,
it looks.
I'm not sure actually.
The top looks amazing. I like the top. And then again with the lettering, if the dress part did not have any lettering, I think it would be gorgeous.
Have you noticed what's on her shirt?
No, I can't see from here.
So it's kind of hard to see, but it's a hand painted portrait of Donald Trump. So do you see this right here? It's that right there.
See, they fucking ruined it. They ruined it, and it's on her belly. I hope she's not pregnant. That's
I'm not sure, if I'm being honest.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. She does look like she has a belly, and that's completely okay. But
of course,
I would hate if she's pregnant and has
already Trump right there.
That'd be nasty. Yeah. But anyways, I like the top part. The red,
like the little.
Yes, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
The dress is really, really cool as well, minus the white lettering that they posted, and then I couldn't see the Trump's face on there, which
I just feel like maybe it lacks cohesion a little bit, but like maybe separately the pieces like the bottom and the top would maybe look better with something else.
I think she needs different shoes.
Okay. Oh, that's a fair point too. Can not really see them.
Yeah, they don't really pop off. I think she needs different shoes.
Okay. I think there's
I would give this. Let me go.
Yes.
I would give this because I would give this a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
7 out of 10.
It's probably the best one we've seen out of these, right? And then there's just like classic.
Make America great
not really
again.
much to say here, but just like the hats that they had.
Bedazzle, make America great again. Yeah. Not impressed. Oh my god. Are people fucking serious? What the fuck is that? It's a white shirt that has You know when it was your last day in graduation? This is what it reminds me.
When they would sign your shirt.
Yeah, when they would sign your shirt, you would take a white shirt, and everybody like, get your signature because we're gonna be here we're gonna be friends forever. And literally, you know, you would get rid of the shirt and nobody really cared.
Or use it as a cleaning rag.
Yeah. Oh, and I see that they try to do outline? The outline of it looks like a ham. Oh no, it's Trump's face. Never mind. It's Trump's face. Outline on this shirt, and there's a lot going on. It looks like blood stains rather than very very bad.
Yep.
This one's a
very bad.
This one's a negative. I would give this a negative 3 out of 100 or something like that.
That's pretty bad. This is the it from this. There was one more that I wanted to show you.
These are great. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yes.
Again, why the Trump? The Trump everywhere.
That without okay, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. Let's say anything else was written right there, I still wouldn't like it. The lettering is too much.
Again with the bedazzle, like what's with the whole shiny bedazzle? It's so tacky, man. So fucking tacky. And then that's the back, no? Which has
that is Trump's, correct. That is the back. Trump going like this
again, fist up.
Yep.
The back is very beautiful. I want to say the back of that.
Actually, like up here, I really like it. You know, kind of looks like a bow. It looks cute. You know, just.
I would say, honestly, if it didn't have the Trump stuff, I would give this a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
I'm not really a big fan of the whole bedazzle front, but it's not. If it was like a gala dress, it would look really pretty. Yeah, I think.
I feel you.
So 8 out of 10 for this one. Minus if it didn't have the Trumps.
This is the one that I wanted to show you.
Swifties for Trump. Oh, that's a whole fucking thing, right? The whole
but
MAGA being against
is Swifties. That Taylor Swift does not support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in secret, but her public endorsement of Kamala Harris. That's what she is.
This is a stretch. This is a grab of this is just really, really desperate. Try to grab for attention and hopes that the Swiftie fans could kind of relate to Trump because he's a big movement, right? That's what I'm
saying. Like he's the acts are so desperate.
Yeah. Yeah, I do fuck with the blue bedazzle.
Yeah, the blue bedazzle's alright.
The blue bedazzle on this bomber jacket is not bad. Better than the fight one.
Yeah, actually speaking, just from a fashion standpoint, I actually don't mind the lettering as much because it is a bomber jacket, you know.
Yes.
And the colors do work a little bit better, you know, the red, white, and blue. So
yes,
I mean, out of all the pieces, it's probably one of the better ones, just from his fashion standpoint.
Yeah, like if this was a Swiftie merch, minus the Trump again, it would be kind of a cool thing to have as a Swiftie fan. Obviously, I would not wear it.
No. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Taylor Swift either, but yeah, that was the last one I wanted to show you.
Wow, that was a really interesting piece of news that you brought.
Yeah. I was reading on it and stuff. Very neutrally presented, I would say, but in a way it makes sense because I looked into who owned the Washington Post. Do you know who owns the Washington Post?
If I'm not mistaken, is Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, you're
Jeff
right.
Bezos?
Yeah, it's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. I mean, again, coming back to the whole, why do I have to purchase my news? You have to purchase your news, right? And then not only that, your news are skewed by political think tanks,
and that's the reason why I don't want to fucking pay for that shit.
Yeah, because even though you think you might be getting an unbiased opinion, it's definitely not an unbiased opinion. It's still very much has an agenda,
right?
Because it's information, and information moves masses. So, and controlling the truth, quote unquote truth, it brings a lot of power. Right. So. Yeah.
Have you not seen any of that on the news or anything?
I hadn't seen anything in regards to the fashion week, which was very, very. It was sad to say the least. Yeah. I mean, there was some good ideas.
Yeah,
but
too much of the same ideas, though.
Yes, exactly, and that can be. Yeah. Too much Trump, too much of the
bedazzlement, the colors.
Be more creative. I mean,
you can. I truly believe you can do better. You fashion designers that did that, I honestly think you can do better.
Yeah, like, why do you have to pander so hard for these fucking weirdo? Like, stop pandering so much.
Yeah, it's fucking sick, man.
I really do wonder what's gonna happen to Republicans, to conservatives, if Trump doesn't win. Like, to their whole ideology, because a lot of people base their fucking whole personality off of it nowadays. Which is fucking dangerous to do. Fucking dangerous, because once he's gone, then what? Then who are you? Right? You're gonna be there, honestly, just fucking sitting there. Are you gonna continue being a MAGA supporter? And it's very culty. Like, there's no escaping this.
Yeah, I would think it's like a similar reaction to the last time he lost.
Yeah, where people are gonna deny it, and people are gonna say that it was not fair. But
we'll hold out hope for you. We'll support you from your jail cell.
Yeah, which people are just it's brainwashed. Yeah. Like, there's no, I don't see any other way about it. And if you came to this podcast and thought, oh, you know, this is a very, very left-sided. Yes, it is left-sided. I'm sorry to tell you, but yes, we do not fuck with fascism.
No.
Anybody that's racist or anything like that.
What was it that Jude Law said when he was asked in that interview, like, what's the most dangerous or most
what's the most dangerous animal that you or scariest
in the world, right?
Yeah.
And he said a fascist human or something like that.
Fascist Homo sapien.
Fascist Homo sapien.
Fascist Homo sapien, which Jude Law, shout out to him, chef's kiss.
Yes.
I'm not gay, you know, but if I was, I'd probably dedicate a couple to Jude Law.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Anyways, do you have any other pieces of news besides?
I have news, but we can maybe you go ahead.
All right. So the other piece of news that I have, it's again coming back to animals.
Okay.
This one's a little fucked up though. Actually, a lot fucked up.
Fuck.
So,
bring out the tissues.
This comes back to a woman in Thailand, who was recently rescued from a python attacking her.
Oh shit!
Which is actually something that's very common in Thailand.
Really?
Yes. So this woman was attacked and trapped by a 40-pound python.
Ay, no, qué miedo.
Arun Roj, 64-year-old woman, said she was washing up and was attacked by the python around 8:30 p.m. And then she was trapped and bitten various times by the snake for about 2 hours.
Ooh, that's a lot of bites.
Yes, before the rescue team came in and liberated her.
God.
So this woman was struggling for about 2 hours with this animal, and she lives in a province south of Bangkok. And she was washing up. When she was washing up, she felt something bite her, and she saw that it was a huge fucking python. She cried out for help, and no one seemed to hear her. And at some point, she said she held the snake's head in hope she would release her, but the snake kept strangling her.
Oh, dude, that's messed up.
Yeah, because pythons are not necessarily venomous, but they strangle. That's their mechanism.
They're grippers.
Exactly. Put those grippers away.
No, for real.
A neighbor was finally able to hear her and called the authorities around 10 p.m.
Oh, Lord, dude.
Sergeant Police Wang Mali had to kick down her door to get her and prodded the snake to release her.
Adios.
He said she looked pale and weak at the time of arrival. I mean, this 64-year-old woman was fighting the snake for for hours. The python ended up measuring to 13 feet long.
Gulp. What?
Yes. And was wrapped around Aram's waist.
Dude. Oh my God. I'd be so scared.
You're telling me. Aram was then taken to the hospital immediately. And although pythons are not necessarily venomous, bites and wounds are prone to get infected. So she had to be taken to the hospital, and she's doing better now.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So, and then as I was reading this, another crazy story came up again involving a python.
Oh gosh.
A man from the same province was on his going to the bathroom on his second floor, and as he sat down,
no, don't say it.
A python bit his testicle.
Oh God.
Bit his testicle.
Oh, dude. No, don't tell me that, because you know why? Because I have like this underlying fear of whenever snakes. I sit down. The snakes and my snakes fear is not that underlying. I am afraid of snakes. But I'm just scared of when I'm like taking a shit or even peeing, that something will come out and just fuck me up.
Like one of those what are they called? Like unexplained fears, or what are they called? Sure. Yeah, fears that don't really make sense, that they'll happen to you, but you are.
Yes. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah,
like, you as a man, imagine that shit happening.
Dude, no, fuck that, dude. Those fucking fangs on your testicles.
Dude, that's fucked up.
En tus aguacates. Low-hanging fruit.
Oh, stop! Okay, that was good.
Low-hanging fruit attack. Come on, Python, be better, you douchebag.
Fuck.
So he grabbed the snake to prevent it from escaping. I know we shouldn't be laughing, but it is kind of funny. He grabbed the snake to prevent it from escaping into his home and tried to pull it out of the toilet, hitting its head with his hand and toilet brush until a neighbor responded to his cries for help.
Fucking A, dude. Oh, first of all, shout out to both of those neighbors. Thank you. Bless you.
Yeah.
Second of all, both in Thailand, in the same province?
In the same province, yes. It's very common to get bitten by snakes.
There must be quite a bit of snakes over there.
Yeah.
Then.
It's I want to say it's jungly.
Wow.
It's like a jungle area.
That would make sense. Dude, that's... Oh my God. Is he okay?
Yeah. He is okay, but, he's...
Traumatized.
Yeah, he actually did say he's fucking traumatized. He probably can't go to the bathroom anymore without triple checking and
probably using the bucket for a while.
Yeah.
I would be so scared. Like, just on the real, I would be scared to use the toilet again.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking fucked up.
That poor guy, man.
And what's even more messed up about this is that, like, when you go to the bathroom, it's like a very much a relaxing time, right?
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be very much decompressing. Me time, right? Now, not so much, because we do bring our phones with us, right. Like nasty beings. And don't come here and judge. You know you're fucking doing. You're probably doing it right now if you're watching this, scrolling through TikTok or wherever you're watching this video.
Right.
As you're taking a shit.
You fiends.
We're fiends. We are fiends because we don't even have the privacy. We bring our phones. What if the whole thing of they're recording you?
Yeah.
Like, do you imagine how many recordings of people taking shits are out there? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's fucking funny. Just fucking people blowing up the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh, God help me.
Yeah. Speaking of blowing out the toilet, like it's always funny to me when I go to a stall, like in a public bathroom.
Oh, Lord.
And people know that you're next door, and people don't give one rat fucking ass. Like they blow it up confidently, and it's just...
I feel like there just comes a point where you have to, like, putting myself in the shoes that I've been blown up a toilet before in public.
It reminds me of the white chicks to bring up that fucking scene. It's fucking hilarious.
There just comes a point where you just can't hold it in no more. You just gotta let go of the shame because you're about to blow up.
Yes. I just with dudes, it always... At least this is something that I've seen with dudes going to the bathroom. They're always about to shit themselves. Like, they don't go before. It's always somebody coming in, blasting through the door, pulling out their pants, and this poor guy is like about to shit himself. And it's always like last minute. Like, every guy out there, it makes it to the bathroom just in the nick of time. Yes. And I'm there. I'm not there for it, but I'm there for it. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, wow, this guy is really getting murder on the dance floor. And this time, it's in the toilet. But it seems like guys are always like on the cusp of shitting themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, pooping is very private too. But there comes a point where you just need to fucking let go of the shame. I know for women as well. I've heard people when they're about to
blast off.
Yeah, more specific, like they're about to share, and I'm gonna talk from a heteronormative lens, okay? But when the women, I'm not gonna name names, but when people in my life been like, in the first time in an enclosed space with their male partner, like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna get over this. Like, how am I gonna shit in front of them? And I will admit, I feel like I personally, went through that myself. But there comes a point, I go back. There comes a point where you need to let go of the shame because you got to do it. It's the same thing with fingernails on a different level, but we all do it. So you got to, let go of the shame.
Yeah. No, you're right. And what's fucked up is when like you have to go to a stranger's bathroom and the stranger's bathroom does not flush.
Dude.
Or
worst nightmare.
You had to use a lot of toilet paper and that shit's kind of clogged up now. Yep. And then somebody's ready to use the restroom after you. You're like, oh, hey, how are you? And you're like, oh, fuck, man. Well, he's going to have to take the blame. But I just took a massive shit in there. That's not healthy for the bathroom.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, no level. It's the kind where no level of spray is gonna. Sometimes the spray makes it worse. The smell.
Yeah,
I said it.
Yeah, because no. You're right. It smells like flowery, like lavender.
Yeah,
shit,
it almost smells
right?
more disgusting than just poop.
Sometimes. Now since we're in the topic of defecating, you know what really comes in clutch? The poopery sprays.
I've never used that.
I've used them actually. I where I used to work, they had pooperies, and you do a spray, and this is no advertisement, but this is how it works. Poopery. Take shits with confidence. No, what's cool about it is that it has it's kind of like an oily, like an oily type of mixture.
Is it a spray?
Yeah, okay. And you spray it before you take a dump.
Oh, before.
Yeah, you do it before, and then once you take a poop, the oil lining makes it so that it doesn't, so that the poop smell, the odor doesn't come up from the.
That is really interesting. Actually.
Yeah, so
damn, who came up with the science behind that?
It's like an essential oil.
Interesting.
Basically, it's like a sort of an essential
That's
oil
cool.
for taking a shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it does really keep. It doesn't trap the smell. Like
Interesting.
So
I've never tried, so I wouldn't know. But if you vouch for it, that's pretty cool.
Honestly, I think potpourris are kind of slept on because you can take them on the go, or you can have that instead of having a what you call it, Febreze or something like that. Febreze. Which Febreze are great for like outside the common areas, your living room.
Occasions.
There's hiding smells or whatever the fuck. But when it comes to the bathroom, I'm a potpourri advocate. Yes. So very potpourri, cool. If you want to be right here or in my toilet, let me know.
That's funny.
Anyways, Diana, how about we start wrapping things up with this section called What's Your Bop? So, Diana, as you know, we have a playlist that is placed in Spotify called Yolking Around playlist, Yolking Around Ecstasy playlist, where we put songs of the week. And I want to know what your bop is and what you've been singing to this past week.
All right. Well, my bop of the week is going to be On Our Way Home by Empire of the Sun.
Great song.
Yeah.
And Empire of the Sun. Chef's kiss again.
I've been listening to more and more of their songs. I'm like, yeah, I really like this band a lot. This group.
Empire of the Sun is iconic. It's definitely one of my favorite alternative electronic type of bands
on my bucket list for sure.
Yes, we have not seen them live. I have not seen them live, but great choice. Empire of the Sun.
Go give it a listen.
My favorite song will always be Walking in a Dream, and you could say, well, that's so basic.
You don't know their music.
It's like, nah, bruh. Like Empire of the Sun, Walking in a Dream. The message behind the song, like if you really break it down and listen to it, their messages are really positive.
That's what I really like about their music is their lyricism. It has an art to it.
Yes. They pick their words very, very carefully. They're catchy. They transmit that message that you need, and that's what's beautiful about a song. It's like very similar to what Kurt Cobain did with Nirvana and its songs and its lyrics. Very potent, very very acid, almost like punchy, but with the meaning, right? It's a puzzle, right? Empire of the Sun is a little way lighter than guns shooting, but it has that essence,
right.
Well, mine is gonna be long way to go by Cassie.
Great song too.
And the reason I chose this song is because it's as a tribute to Cassie, with this whole P Diddy debacle that's been going on, which fuck P Diddy.
No, for real, fuck P Diddy.
So Long Way to Go by Cassie, that album is just great. Great, just fucking
amazing
album. And what happened to her, it's fucking terrible. And
agreed.
We'll talk probably more about the Diddy case as this story kind of evolves, because it's barely sort of starting. The memes are crazy already, but like everything, but there's still a lot of meat to this. So as an homage to Cassie, because she was saying the truth all along, and because of the abusive tendencies of this fucking creep.
This animal,
yes.
The theme for today's podcast is just animals.
Yeah, hell yeah. But anyways, go take a listen to it. It'll be on Spotify. And before we go, Diana, do you have anything else you want to add?
Honestly, if I'm being real, if you can vote, please register. I don't care.
Great message.
Either way that you're gonna vote, but please do so. We need to exercise our right to vote.
Yeah. You defend all the amendments. Well, this is one of them, right? Being able to express yourself.
Right. I actually was going to say something about voting too. Just like a random fact. Did you know that you can't register to vote in Texas online if you're doing it for the first time?
Oh, dude. I know that there's a whole bunch of right-leaning conservative states that have made it impossible. This is actually something that's very real. It's not like... it's not speculation. It's
a fact.
It's very factual that there's a lot of red taping. There's a lot of states that are trying to prevent women from voting. They're trying to institute laws to prevent women, like where you have to show your marriage certificate or birth certificate, because if your name does not match your birth certificate, you cannot vote. And obviously, if you get married, you take somebody else's last name.
For the most part, most cases, yeah.
So I've heard about that stuff, and it's very much happening in very conservative states, and they're cheating the system in a way because they're not allowing people to vote.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that Texas or a lot of conservative-leaning places do that, because wouldn't you want more conservatives to vote?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I don't think they want people to vote in general.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. It's not even about political parties no more.
Yeah, I don't
This
think
is about voter suppression.
And people fall for it.
Yeah,
people fall for it. People think that this is always something I hear. It's like, why, if everybody's the same? Well, I can tell you that the government under Trump, in comparison to Harris,
it'll be different.
Would be very different. Yeah. So, if you don't vote, then you can't go out and complain about like how your fucking rights are being taken away on real time,
right?
And you didn't do jack shit about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Voting has always been really important to me, especially as a daughter of immigrants. A lot of people in my family can't vote.
Exactly, they don't have a voice. They pay taxes.
Yeah, they don't have a voice. There's a lot of people in this country that can't vote that deserve a voice. So please be that voice for other people.
Yeah, well, great way to end actually, and a great message. Honestly, you love democracy, well then fucking express it. Stop being a lazy citizen and go out there and vote. And this attests to the whole thing of immigrants and illegal immigrants are voting. It's BS. That whole fucking debacle is fucking BS.
And that immigrants don't pay taxes. Okay.
Oh my god. Anyways,
without getting into it too much, but
thank you so much, family, for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as we did. Let us know what you guys think. You guys are open to express yourself and opinion. Go give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and like. Your engagement does help a lot. Mm-hmm. And I hope that, I hope that you guys like the episode. Anything else you want to add before?
I mean, just comment. If you have a different opinion than ours, we're more than open to having a dialogue. So
yeah, not that we'll listen to it or we'll read it, but you're
more than welcome
to put your comments on it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
And bye.